Have you ever wondered if solar storms pulsing through space could be linked to human heart events? Massive headlines often claim space weather threatens your health, but when scientists analyzed tens of millions of health records, the real answer turned out to be far more subtle. In a massive U.S. study published in Environmental Health in 2019, Vieira and colleagues analyzed about 44 million deaths across 263 U.S. cities over roughly 3 decades. Per standard deviation of the KP index, researchers reported between 0.2 and 0.34% higher cardiovascular deaths, and 0.4 to 0.7% higher heart attack deaths, varying by season. These findings represent statistical associations, not proof of cause. But here's where the numbers get really interesting. Notice just how small those increases actually are. Well under 1% per standard deviation of geomagnetic activity, shifting depending on the season. This is a population-level statistical signal across millions of people, meaning it says nothing about the risk to any single person on any given day. But what happens when you pool decades of global research together? A 2025 meta-analysis in the Journal of Medical Physics pooled studies and reported relative risks around 1.3 to 1.5 for heart attack and 1.25 to 1.6 for stroke around geomagnetic disturbances. However, out of 644 studies screened, only 6 were solid enough to include, and the authors flagged heavy inconsistency in how those studies were conducted. So is the broader evidence truly consistent, or do some studies find nothing at all? It turns out plenty of studies found no connection. A 2025 scoping review in Korea's looked at 36 studies and found 28 reported a significant correlation while 8 found none, while an older 1976 study in Nature found no correlation at all. The authors concluded that geomagnetic activity may merely coincide with cardiovascular events rather than cause them, emphasizing that causality cannot be inferred from these mostly ecological designs. Which brings us to how scientists explain what might be happening. Scientists suggest that geomagnetic changes might subtly affect the autonomic nervous system and heart rate variability. But as highlighted in the Korea's scoping review, this proposed mechanism is strictly a hypothesis, not a demonstrated fact. It remains an open scientific question, not established medicine. So can solar storms affect your heart? The honest answer is that while there is a real but tiny statistical signal in big population studies, the evidence is mixed and never proven causal, and it tells you nothing about your personal risk on any single day. This is not a reason to worry, it is a genuine open question scientists are still actively studying. The smart move isn't fear, it's paying attention to your own body over time. Subscribe for weekly space weather science. And the only way to find your triggers is to track them. Do it free in the howarewe app, link in the description.